Hastifolia. Hastifolia. Ow.
Ooh.
Internet. Once again sneaking up on me out of the darkness while I'm trying to do work in my shop. Well, good to see you either way. What are we here today? We're here to talk about this stick. Because I find this stick to be... Oh, no, I'm just kidding. That's one of my props. We're going to get to that in just a second. Today we're here to talk about one of my favorite plants of all time, the Anubias Hastifolia, which is a African Anubias. Fantastic plant, often from the Congo and that kind of area, the jungly areas of, what's that, Central Africa, I guess? Yeah. Fantastic plant that actually grows on the sides of rivers and stuff like that. This is a fantastic aquarium plant. It's one of my favorite Anubias of all time. One of the main reasons that it grows so tall. This thing will grow 24 inches tall easily. And why I think that's fantastic? Well, this works as a great background plant. If you're looking to fill out the background of your aquarium with something that you don't have to do a ton of maintenance to, and that's like trimming and constantly messing around and moving it and stuff like that, this is a great background plant. I would definitely consider this, or possibly some Coffolia, something like that, which is a different varietal of Anubias, but this one grows a little bit differently. If you take a look there, you can see how the leaves actually grow into these kind of arrowheads, which I find to be really appealing realistically, because this is one of the unique leaves that you'll find out of the larger Anubias. It's not necessarily just the round shape that you normally see of like Barteri and stuff like that. So and also like the ease of use. This is a really easy plant to handle, to get planted in your aquarium, because it is a rhizome plant. So it actually, this part down here, let's get it out of the pot. Let's get it out of this rock wool, which we actually were talking about recently. Was this was initially designed as a insulation for boilers on rail cars. It's old steam engines, believe it or not. This stuff's been around a long time. Works great for holding the plant. I don't recommend leaving this in your aquarium. I know some people have done it for years and haven't had a problem, but I just find it to, once it starts to really start to kind of break down and stuff like that, it'll kind of cloud up your water column and stuff like that and just make your tank look funky. So I remove it, even though it's not 100% needed. I remove it for sure. I feel like the plant grows better too. So yeah, if you look down here, you can see this little piece right here is the rhizome. So that's the plant, and then you see the large root ball down here, which you can see how balled up it gets when it's inside the pot. When it's inside the pot, all these roots tend to get root bound, just like a potted plant that you buy at the local hardware store, and you have to repot them, you know. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, is kind of just breaking up the roots, kind of allow them to pick up some nutrients a little bit easier. It's not going to do, you know, it's not going to make things 100% perfect for the plant or anything like that, but it'll just make it a little more helpful. Plus, sometimes you'll find strange little fertilizer balls that plants or that companies have put in there to help them grow in the pot. But we don't want that, because our tanks are little ecosystems, right? So we are adding a little bit of fertilizer, we're adding light, we're adding food and stuff like that to our little ecosystem. And so we don't really need those little fertilizer balls anymore, now that we got the rock wool out. As you can see, it's kind of a chaotic mess down here with these roots to figure out exactly where you're gonna put a little bit of glue, how you're gonna do it. But this will just take a minute to kind of figure out exactly what you're doing. Anything kind of left in there dirt-wise or anything like that, you just want to go ahead and kind of knock that out of there. Then you end up with some really nice looking roots. Now I just got a little piece of driftwood here that I'm actually going to glue this to it right? And I'm going to use this tiny little piece of driftwood to go behind a rock so we don't have to see all the roots and stuff. We can actually just see the top leaves of the plant. Now that's because I have pretty large aquariums and I need a little extra boost, you know, at the beginning here to get it up a little bit higher. And also I have big rocks, so I'm actually going to position this right behind a big rock, and then it's going to be ready to go. On the live streams and stuff, we've talked about this glue quite a few times. It's DAP Rapid Fuse. It's this light blue bottle. You can get it at most hardware stores and stuff like that, although I think there will be a link in the description down below. You guys can see my breath in here. It's pretty cold, so we're doing this just kind of a live, sort of semi-live one take, you know, just to show you guys how long this should really take. It shouldn't take too long to get this kind of stuff done. One of the big reasons I like this rapid fuse is just how quickly it will glue to something. It's advertised as 30 seconds, but with a nice wet surface like this and a wet plant, it really doesn't take, I mean, maybe it does actually do 30 seconds, but I find it to be just about pretty quick. Now, when you're positioning your plant, you want to leave the end right here, that where it's going to keep growing from. That's where you want to position it on the driftwood so that it can continue to grow and continue to grow forward. I see oftentimes, like when people are gluing plants to stuff, that they don't leave the direction that it's going, that the rhizome is going to grow in. They don't leave that open, and it will just kind of cause problems down the line with you know, continued growth of the plant and stuff like that. Now in the wild, this actually just grows as a thing along the riverbed. It doesn't actually have any wood portion to it. It's just this giant root system that will just keep growing along the ground. So I feel like aesthetically something is almost missing with this plant that that the driftwood kind of provides, and that's just to give it a little bit of a natural look in the aquarium, that like, oh, it's growing from some kind of wood situation down below, which I find to be appealing. And there we go. It's pretty well glued on there at this point. Okay, I think we got it. Might have to give a little extra dab down here just to make sure it's good and stuck on there, right? This won't really damage the roots that much, because as you can see how extensive the roots are on this plant. It's got plenty of extra roots and stuff. This is actually just going to hold it in place. Otherwise, it'll just float around in the aquarium, and then we'll have a problem. There you go. You can see it's glued on there now. If you want to check out some of the other videos that will be coming up in regards to this plant, along with all the other plants, they're actually going into my 150-gallon shrimp aquarium is where this will be going. This will be making an appearance in the background of that aquarium. So if you want to check out those videos, feel free to check those out. They'll just be coming out as things keep getting done. Those of you that have been watching the live streams and stuff like that, thank you very much for hanging with me. I know it's a long show, and so any new subscribers or anybody like that, just to let you know, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we do a live stream format show where we answer questions. There's video portion and all that kind of stuff, and it's an opportunity to kind of chat with me live and stuff like that. So if you do have questions, it's a great place to put it. Another way to communicate with me is to head down to the Patreon, which is in the description down below. We have a lot of cool people contributing on the Patreon page in the community section and all that kind of stuff. It's a great way to contact me. Also, you can always just leave a comment down below, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. As soon as I can, right? Well, that's Anubias Hastifolia. Doesn't need a lot of light. Doesn't need a lot of attention once it's in there. Also doesn't need a ton of fertilizers or anything like that. Fantastic background plant. And I'll be, I don't know, I'll be making, I don't know, more videos or something. So I'll catch you all later on the other side. Hastifolia. Hastifolia on a stick.